So the Chief Minister joins us on a Friday briefing. New outfit, I think. It's very nice, very dapper, very summery.
So, yes, well, you've got to go with the times, haven't you?
Tell me, I know you've been away at representing the Isle of Man at an event, World War I event.
Yeah.
Just so I don't think we caught up with you since then. Is that important? I mean, the Isle of Man. I mean, massive amount of losses, wasn't there, per rata?
Yeah, well, on the population, the Isle of Man sent just under 9,000 people off to fight, and our casualties were the heaviest, which is something I'm not happy about, but they were the heaviest in the British Isles.
I've seen those maps which shows all the houses where someone lost somebody. It's very moving,
that's right. So I went off to Amiens.
Where was that?
It's in France. Yeah. It's where the last big battle of World War I took place, when the Germans were effectively overrun, and that caused them to sue for peace.
And you invited
I was invited there
as
to represent as the Isle of Man. So Prince William was there, Theresa May was there, Nicola Sturgeon was there, I was there, along with representatives from Jersey and Guernsey. And then after that, and that was very moving, and after that I took a day off and I went up to Reims, if I pronounce, my apologies to French-speaking people, and I took a taxi out to Marfort. It's in the Champagne district, where my great-uncle, who was Private William Henry Cowell, was killed on the 20th of July 1918, and he's buried there with nearly 1,000 other people. And it's very poignant, and I would recommend to anyone, if they're ever in France, to go and visit at least one of the war graves, because you see all these graves, all young men, all killed on the same day. 90% of the 1,000 graves there were killed on the same day. The rest were maybe 2-3 days on the whole later, probably from wounds which they received on the day when the others were killed.
Quite moving, I would imagine.
It was. He's buried there. None of us have been to visit, and we should never forget that our great uncles, grandfathers, cousins gave their lives to give us the sort of freedom that we can enjoy today. You and I can have a conversation where no holds barred sort of thing.
It's nice how Ramsey, of course, have this thing that they keep remembering the 100 years since the deaths, hasn't he?
And they're the only ones doing it in the British Isles, I'm told. So real credit to the commissioners of Ramsey and the Ramsey branch of the British Legion. Yeah, my great uncle, he's on
that list.
Is on that list. So I went down with my family to commemorate it on the 20th of July. So thank you very much, Ramsey Town Commissioners.
Good that. On another note, then, these school exam results come out. We're always chirping everything's fine. The usual people are put forward to say everything's good. Are you happy with everything? I mean, you'd probably don't say yes, but I mean, is there more we can do? Let's try that question.
Well, we can always improve, Paul. But this is the I think this is the second highest result we've ever had. So our young people have done exceptionally well. The bar's being lifted all the time, and people say, oh, because there's more people passing, it's dumbing down or whatever. No, I think it's our young people are having to work. The questions that you and I will have taken in the exams, they could probably breeze through a year earlier, sort of thing. So the bar's being lifted higher all the time, and we should.
I had logarithms. What about you? Not calculators.
Tangents and cosines and all this sort of stuff that you'll never use again unless you're going to be an engineer. But I think. But it's not just about the exam results. We are trying to make sure that our young people are well grounded and balanced. It's not all about exams, and I think that's important, and that's something I like to think on the Isle of Man we do better. And
and all the investment you do, and they go off to university when there's a controversy about that, about not paying enough. But then this coming back thing is definitely, most people seem to be, well, not most, but I don't know the numbers involved, but
we get about 49% of our young people come back, and we are growing the number of degree courses on the Isle of Man to keep more young people on the island.
Are you happy about the way that it's done with these calculations on giving these grants and loans?
Well, obviously you can always look to improve it, but I mean, at this moment in time, I've got my son is just finished his first year at university. I have to pay the full whack, but for all his friends, from all over the UK, they are having to pay the full amount and take a loan out to fund that, so that their parents will have to pay the accommodation, or they will have to pay the accommodation fee, a living allowance, and the full amount. Now, okay, they get a loan from the UK government for that, but on the Isle of Man, our students, unless their parents are earning over is at 90 or 100,000, they are getting 7,500 paid by the government. So at the end of the day, I believe that our young people have less of a debt than if they lived in England. But obviously, if there is a way of improving that service to our young people, then I'm more than happy to see, that we have a review to see what we can do to help.
Because you've got more money in the coffers, haven't you? You've got lots more coming in than you thought when the last tax take was taken. I think you're after everyone much more, that's for sure. You get those nasty letters and you forgot about this.
Well, no, there's 700 more people working on the Isle of Man than there was in the previous year.
It's funny, because I still get this opinion that people are leaving, but you say that...
Yeah, there's 700 people paying tax and NI contribution on the Isle of Man for 18-19 than there was in the previous year.
Are these residents or people that come in on contracts and just work?
Well, these are new people moving over. Now, we've had a very successful relocate programme where the Department for Enterprise give a financial reward for companies that bring over people to relocate as long as they live in the Isle of Man for 12 months, and that's been so successful we're extending that. But we can't rest on our laurels, Paul.
Well, no, you brought up the Department of Enterprise. I mean, that was quite shocking, wasn't it, about the amount of jobs they created out of that fund? It's cost a massive amount of money. They never hit the ground running on that one, did they?
Well, there's always room for improvement, but...
Room for improvement? It was, come on. Those numbers, when they said that only 13 jobs being created out of this pot,
yeah, but when you start up, you're never going to suddenly get 500 jobs in the first week. It's going to take a number of years.
But even they said it hadn't quite worked out.
It hasn't, and it's got to be altered, and we're looking at tweaking that. The concept is a good idea. It's just how you operate it, and we are looking to make changes there.
Finally, as people hit the off button, I'm going to say Brexit. Because I just hear the people, oh, God. I mean, is there anything really to add on this? I mean, we're still no closer to knowing what's going on, and you don't know any more than we do, right?
Right. If nothing's agreed by October, November, then you probably, the chances of having a no deal, a hard Brexit as people call it, it goes up significantly. But I suppose what the UK have done is that they've issued technical notices. Now, we've had 25 we received yesterday advising in certain areas what will happen if it's a hard Brexit, and they're going to issue a significant amount more in September. And that shows the people that if there's a hard Brexit, this is what we have planned for. So I suppose if your plan A is to have a negotiated settlement with the EU, and hopefully common sense will prevail, because the EU has as much to lose as the UK if there isn't a settlement. But if you have sort of, I don't know, constitutional stubbornness or institutional stubbornness amongst the people then in charge, and we have a hard Brexit, then at least the people now know this is what's going to happen on all the various issues that they'll need to know about.
I mean, day-to-day stuff, for most people, I'm thinking about myself, it's things like going on holiday.
Going on holiday?
With your passport, and which line you queue in.
And taking a dog, or your pet with you to go on holiday. That's all these sort of things will have to be
But we'll just go with the UK, right? I mean, at the end of the day, nothing different will happen.
Yeah, it's business as usual, and our customs union, our VAT agreement with the UK continues. No matter what happens with Brexit, we will continue our relationship.
All these announcements about building plans, things happening now, do you think we're on an uplift because of Brexit almost? Is the Isle of Man seen as some sort of shelter from all this? I mean, this sudden flurry of activity on building. Well,
this has been hard work, Paul, behind the scenes for a long time. So it's us as a government.
Is it connected, I'm thinking?
No, I don't think so. I think... if there was a major event in the UK, that might cause people to relocate to the Isle of Man. But at this moment in time, I don't think any of the projects that are being announced on the Isle of Man have anything to do with Brexit.
But there's confidence in the Isle of Man?
Well, it's seen that we're turning the corner. And whilst you mentioned very nicely that we have increased the amount of receipts from income tax coming in to, we've balanced the revenue account, we still have a public sector pension deficit that kicks in 21-22, and we've got to have enough surplus for that from our revenue account to cover that pensions deficit going forward. So we can't rest on our laurels because we've managed for the first time since 2008 to have a balanced revenue account. We can't say, oh, well, that's it, we can ease back now. We know that there's this £40+ million a year deficit in public sector pensions coming in at the end of 21-22, and therefore we've got to ensure that we've got a big enough surplus to absorb that. So it's business as usual, but I hope it shows the people of the Isle of Man that the government is doing their very best to ensure that we have a balanced, sustainable economy.